what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mackie and I hope you're all having a great day today. We're back in the tiny home for another Tiny Home Tuesday update. And it is actually the end of the week, so this video will be going up tomorrow. And I am happy to say we're completely done with the structure of the tiny home. So here's a little sneak peek on what's coming in this video. But as you can see, everything is officially boxed in except for that little gap right there because I was saving that for last. But we have our tiny home door. It literally looks like a house in here. It's insane to me. If you haven't guessed from that sneak peek or the title, we are sheathing the entire roof this week. It was super fun and easy. I was gonna start on more stuff this week, but unfortunately I cracked a rib a couple days ago, so I haven't been able to do any heavy work in here just because it hurt. It's actually just more annoying than anything. I did in the dumbest way. I slipped on Kaya's bone on the tile and I slid back like that. Ow, that hurt. But I slid back like that and she had another like super fat big bone on the tile as well, and I slammed back, completely landing on that bone, and it went directly up into my rib and I just heard like a turns out I cracked it, so that really set me back. But that's okay, I at least got it all sheathed. But other than that, let's get straight into the video. To start out, I had to install the face plates on the front and the back of the tiny house rafters, and this is also acting as my fascia. I'm not putting an extra layer or anything, but I just took some 2x6 pieces I had cut and nailed them to the end so that it will hold the faceplate in place and I don't have to struggle trying to hold it up there while nailing it at the same time. So I highly recommend doing this if you are by yourself or even if you have people with you, because it makes it way easier. Then I had to make a cut on a 14-foot 2x6 so it fit everything appropriately, and I just took my saw to make this cut, and then it was time to set it up there and start nailing it all into place. And as you can see, all I do is lean the piece up against one side and then I use my ladder to walk it up to the other side, and then I just push it up there and you're all good to go and you don't have to struggle trying to hold it up there. Then I just took my nail guns and shot it into each and every rafter. During this process, I had to make some adjustments on the faceplate just so it sits even with the top and bottom of each rafter. But once all my nails were in place, then I just took a hammer and knocked off those 2x6 pieces and it's all good to go. Okay, so right now I'm starting to sheathe the roof, so I just have my plywood that you guys are sitting on top of right now. And I'm going to take my nail gun and just shoot some nails along all the edges. So I grabbed the chalk line just because it'll make it easier. Oh. Alright, so right now I'm just going to cut this plywood because since it's 10 feet across, one of these sheets is 8 feet, so that's an extra 2 feet that I need cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these, and I am going to be staggering it. Now I'm just going to set my level to make the cut, and if you're new to cutting and using saws and everything, I highly recommend doing what I do. So basically, I set this in place using clamps, and then I'm able to just drag my saw across and lean it against the level, so it's a perfectly straight cut every single time. So if you're new to cutting, I highly recommend using one of these. It's a serious game changer. Basically, for this method of cutting that I use, I just take a square, measure 4 inches away from the line, and that is where I set the level, just because the blade area of the saw is about 4 inches, so that's why I measure that much. And then I just take my saw and run it along the level, and it comes out straight every single time. And that's it. And I'll just show you guys how it's going to fit real quick. So it's technically just going to be like that. As you can see, well, this is honestly probably going to be the last piece I put on, just so I don't have to move my ladder, but yeah, you get the general idea of it. So I'll probably finish up sheathing it and all that tomorrow, and then it's just time to put the roofing material on. So yeah, that's it for today. From this point on is extremely simple. All I did was start staggering my wood, and here I'm just taking a full sheet of plywood, and this time I started at the left side of the house, where the first row of plywood I started on the right side of the house, so that's what starts creating the stagger. I ended up having to make a very small 3-inch cut on this sheet of plywood just so that the ends would rest directly in the center of one rafter, and also keep that in mind whenever you're doing this. Always plan out where your plywood is going to sit on a rafter, because if the edge lines up in between 2 rafters, then that is not going to be fun trying to add additional rafters underneath it just so you have somewhere to nail it into place. So always keep that in mind while you're mapping all of this stuff out. Okay, so now you can see what I was talking about, staggering the full sheets. So I have 3 full sheets right here, and then I just have to fill in the gaps with smaller cut pieces for the edges. But it's getting pretty cold and windy, and that heavy fog is rolling in right now, so I'm sure it's gonna get dewy up here again. So I'm gonna call it for now and see what happens later tonight, if it dries up or not. But yeah, I'm pretty much all done with this, just gotta put in the little pieces. So this is the final day of sheathing. All I had to do was mark out where all the rafters were on the last couple pieces of plywood, and then just take my nail gun and shoot everything into place. Once the main sheets were all done, the only thing left I had to do was the sheathing of the overhang, and that was just an 18-inch area, so I had to just go back over to my plywood and make the final 3 cuts for that small overhang. Once I had those 3 pieces cut out, all I did was go back up on the roof and nail those right into place, and I was completely done with sheathing the roof. So this is what the end result looks like on top of the roof up here. Just like that. Don't mind the hole, I was just saving that one for last so I have an easy access point. But first thing tomorrow, I'm nailing the board on there and then gonna start putting the felt and everything on. So unfortunately that will be in next week's video because the whole cracked rib situation. But yeah, it's like a full-on little hangout up here right now. I was actually up here today just tanning because it's super hot up here during the day. But yep, this is what it looks like. Fun stuff. Alright, back down into my hole. It looks so much lower in the video, but if you're scared of heights, you would not like this, I promise. I hate it. Okay, and that's where the video ends off for this week. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I hope it taught you how to sheathe the roof. But like I said, next week tiny home update, the roof will be completely done because all you have to do is put the shingles on it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it'll go by super quickly and hopefully start electrical wiring finally. But yeah, I'll just give you guys one more little look at the inside of this place right now. So it's literally a full-on house in here right now. The only opening is on the sides right here, and I just need to put some house wrap and add a couple of planks of the shiplap on the outside, and then we're completely boxed in. I'm excited. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this tiny home video, and if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on all post notifications. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.